following developing news tonight in Lancaster, where pop star Aaron Carter has died at the age of 34.
Yeah, the troubled performer grew up in the limelight, but he was in and out of rehab several times in his short life.
Do you regret ever getting involved in...
I didn't have a choice. It got bad when I was about 15 years old. I'm sorry. I'm sorry the way that I look. Oh my God, it hurts so bad. It hurts so bad because there's like nothing I can do. You know, be a happy camper.
Code 3 responses needed. Feel about yelling at 902 in the tub.
Aaron Carter.
Right. The name definitely rings a bell for a lot of people.
For sure. Little brother of Nick Carter from the Backstreet Boys, but, you know, a massive pop star himself, like really young.
Oh yeah, late 90s, early 2000s. He was inescapable.
Totally. Crush on You, Aaron's Party. Those songs were everywhere. It feels like another lifetime almost.
It does. And achieving that level of fame, you know, before you're even really a teenager, it's intense.
Super intense. And we've seen it before, that kind of early spotlight.
Yeah.
It often leads to, well, complications later.
It really does. It sets a difficult stage.
And unfortunately, Aaron's story took a really, really sad turn. He passed away back in November 2022. He was only 34.
Just incredibly young. And the initial reports, they seem straightforward enough, at least on the surface.
Yeah, the official cause of death was ruled as accidental drowning, but there were contributing factors listed. Alprazolam, which most people know as Xanax.
Right, the anti-anxiety medication.
And also difluorethane, which is a type of compressed gas. You find it in things like air duster cans.
So drowning, but incapacitated by those substances first. That was the finding.
Exactly. And, you know, given Aaron's very public battles over the years.
Addiction, mental health struggles.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't secret.
Right. So that narrative, an accidental overdose leading to drowning, it kind of... well, it fit with what people knew or thought they knew, a personal tragedy.
It seemed to close the book in a sad way, a life overcome by those struggles.
And this is where it gets interesting, or maybe disturbing. Things haven't stayed quiet. There's been a huge resurgence of talk about his death recently.
Definitely. And it seems tied into a lot of other stuff going on in Hollywood right now.
Oh, absolutely. Like, you've got 50 Cent releasing these audio clips that are supposedly Aaron talking.
I saw that.
And then there's the whole massive situation surrounding Sean Diddy Combs, which is just dominating everything.
It's unavoidable right now.
Mm-hmm.
And it seemed to be casting a new light on older events, older stories.
Exactly. It's like suddenly Aaron Carter's name is being pulled back into the spotlight, but in this really different, much darker context. These old rumors, these whispers, they're suddenly loud again.
And it makes you question that initial, simpler explanation for his death, doesn't it?
It really does. The idea of it just being a straightforward accident. It feels less certain now. People are asking serious questions.
Like, was it really accidental? Or was something else going on? Something maybe hidden?
Yeah. So when people are talking about these rumors, like linking Aaron to Diddy, what's the gist of it? What are they actually suggesting?
Well, a lot of it is still, you know, in the realm of speculation. It fueled by those audio snippets, by things people remember Aaron saying online.
Okay.
The general implication, or the theory in some corners, is that Aaron might have known something or experienced something, maybe related to alleged activities in certain powerful Hollywood circles.
And that this knowledge or experience somehow played a part in what happened to him.
That's the insinuation in these theories, yeah. But it's crucial to stress, these are still rumors, theories, amplified hugely by the current climate, especially with the Diddy investigations.
Right, context is everything here. But it's also true that Aaron himself, well, he said some pretty dark things about his time in the industry before he died.
He did. I remember him calling Hollywood a living hell.
Yeah, and he hinted quite strongly sometimes about feeling like used, manipulated by people with power.
Those comments definitely land differently now, don't they?
Totally. Back then, maybe you dismiss it as, you know, fallout from being a child star, the pressures.
The usual narrative.
But now, with all the talk about abuse of power, exploitation, especially with younger people in entertainment, those words feel heavier.
They really do. It raises those uncomfortable questions about vulnerability in the industry. What might go on behind closed doors?
Let's just quickly trace that timeline again, because it's kind of staggering. He was, what, 9? When he first really broke through.
Yeah, incredibly young. Signed a record deal, opening for the Backstreet Boys.
And then boom, By like 13, he's got platinum albums, he's touring with Britney Spears. He was a proper teen idol.
A phenomenon. But that kind of meteoric rise, the pressure is just unimaginable for a kid.
Constant scrutiny, no privacy, probably people pulling him in all directions financially.
Absolutely. No normal childhood, immense demands. It's a recipe for trouble down the line. We've seen that pattern so many times.
And the trouble definitely came for Aaron. The substance abuse struggles were very public. Battling addiction.
His mental health issues, too. He was open about some of them. Multiple trips to rehab.
Yeah, he was trying. That's the thing that always comes up. People close to him said he was really trying to get things together.
Especially for his son, Prince. He became a father not long before he died. That seemed like a huge motivation for him.
Right. And his own TR team, after he passed, they released a statement emphasizing that. His commitment to being a good dad, trying to mend family fences, which kind of clashes with the idea of someone just giving up and accidentally overdosing, doesn't it?
It does add complexity. The narrative of someone fighting, trying to recover. It sits uneasily with a sudden isolated accident.
And friends back that up. There were people saying he seemed okay, making future plans. His stylist mentioned a FaceTime call shortly before. Said he seemed all right, they were making plans. It complicates the picture of someone spiraling helplessly.
It absolutely does. It shows how there can be these conflicting narratives around a celebrity death. The official medical report tells one story.
Right, the clinical facts.
But personal accounts, the context of their recent life, their stated goals, that can suggest something much more nuanced.
So back to that coroner's report. Drowning, yes. Incapacitated by Xanax and this compressed gas, defluorothane. Ruled an accident.
Seems clear-cut on paper.
But that compressed gas, the fluorophane, it's often used for huffing, right? Inhaling it for a quick high from aerosol cans.
Yes, that's a known form of substance abuse. And apparently it wasn't a secret concern with Aaron.
Right. Fans had supposedly been worried, even contacting authorities about seeing him allegedly doing it online.
And friends apparently talked to him about it. Urged him to get more help specifically for that.
So it points to a pattern, maybe a specific type of addiction struggle that was ongoing. He'd also admitted to Xanax issues in the past.
It adds layers to the accidental ruling. While maybe not intentional suicide, was it just a one-off accidental misuse or part of a known risky behavior pattern?
And then there's the family stuff. Always complicated there. Nick Carter posted a very emotional tribute, acknowledging their difficult relationship but saying his love remained.
Which was quite moving.
Yeah.
But you also remember.
The restraining orders, yeah. Nick and their sister Angel got restraining orders against Aaron back in 2019.
Right. Citing threatening behavior. It highlights just how strained things were within the family, under that constant spotlight.
That kind of family tension, especially with the pressures of fame, it can be incredibly isolating.
No doubt. It adds another layer of difficulty to navigating personal struggles.
So you have all that. The history, the struggles, the attempts at recovery, the complicated family life, and then layered on top, these resurfaced rumors.
The whispers about what he might have known, who he might have crossed paths with, specifically mentioning Diddy again.
And the fact these are gaining traction now with everything else coming out about Diddy and others, the timing feels significant.
It really does. It's created this environment where people are re-examining Aaron's death through this new, much darker lens.
It sets up this stark contrast, you know.
Totally.
On one side, the official story, a tragic accident, the sad end result of his long public battles with addiction and mental health.
The narrative of personal demons winning out.
And on the other side, this growing unease, this suspicion fueled by current events, by the audio clips, by past comments, that maybe it wasn't just an accident. That maybe there's a cover-up, something more sinister involved.
Exactly. You have the coroner's findings, the medical facts as presented, but then you have this whole swirling vortex of rumors, allegations, unsettling timing. It makes people wonder if that official story is the whole story.
So just to recap the key points here. Officially, Aaron Carter drowned in his bathtub after becoming incapacitated by taking alprazolam, Xanax, and inhaling defluoroethane, that compressed gas. Ruled an accident.
That's the official record. And it came after this incredibly public life, massive child stardom, followed by years of documented struggles with addiction, mental health, legal issues, family conflict, but also efforts towards recovery. He died at 34.
Okay. But now his death is being talked about again, largely because of these wider Hollywood scandals erupting, particularly around Diddy.
Right. Old rumors and alleged audio have resurfaced, suggesting Aaron might have had some dangerous knowledge or connection to powerful figures, leading some to speculate his death wasn't accidental.
So you've got the public narrative, tragic accident, and then you have this undercurrent. Maybe something more complex, maybe something deliberately hidden, tied into darker things within the industry.
That's the core tension now.
Yeah.
The official ruling versus this growing cloud of suspicion, amplified by everything happening right now. Is the simple explanation enough?
Which leaves us, and probably you listening, with this big, kind of unsettling question, doesn't it?
Definitely.
Was Aaron Carter's death the tragic, accidental culmination of his own personal battles? A very sad story, but ultimately one about addiction and mental health.
Or is there potentially more to it? Is there a more complicated, maybe even a much darker story connected to the shadows of Hollywood that we just haven't uncovered yet?
Yeah, it really makes you think. A lot to unpack there.